away at the moment on the MCT Carp Social over in France, and I've got Tom with me. Tom's fishing the next swim down. I've known Tom for a little while now, mate. You know, we've been a few times in Europe and in England. And Tom came up this morning and looked at one of my bags, and he went away and showed his brother because we showed him what it did. You've probably seen this a million times with Rob Burgess and all the other people that are doing it, but Tom couldn't believe that this did this.
On magnetic.
It's like it's got a magnet on the bottom. It just turns over every time, and then the bait's in the top there. So Tom went down and showed his brother. He tied one up and it didn't do what mine did, so he's just come up and said, can you tie me one and show me exactly how it's done? So that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, you've probably seen this a million times anyway on YouTube and all the different streaming sites and whatnot, and different brands and companies, but I'm just going to run through it with Tom anyway. So the rig itself, that's lead-free leader, and then I showed this on my Instagram a little while back. That is my PVA bag rig, so supple braid down to a Kamakura hook with a little kicker on it and a little hook bead and a swivel, and that's basically just called a German rig. So 2 ounce lead in line, not fishing drop off. Bait of choice is a little wafter. So it's a little dumbbell wafter there. That's a bait that I have rolled for myself. It's called the test bait. It's worked really, really well wherever I've used it. And then all I want to do with it is just get a little bit of bait floss through the swivel, and then get your bait onto the floss. Nice and simple. Then we got a lighter. My lighter here. Tom, you got it? Right. So I've got a spare one, Tom. Yep. So then we're going to cut the floss off. I leave it about 1 inch because I want to get some of that to make a blob. Give that a good burn up, and then a little blob at the end. I actually quite like that little black blob on the yellow.
A lot of people moan
Bumblebee
about
rig.
A lot, yeah.
I don't think a carp is coming in at any point and going, oh, hang on a minute, it's got a black dot on it. Can you imagine? Yeah. Oh no, black dot, black dot. Right, so get rid of that. Now we can go to the bag. So I use the quarter size small bags. That's my bag of choice. It's not the easiest bag to use, because when you put your fingers against it like that, there's not much of a gap to put your lead in. So I just give it a little bit of a stretch first. I always stretch it that way like that.
They've got quite a bit of stretch to them quarter bags, haven't they?
You rip a few and you learn. And then from there, got my pellet mix. So that pellet mix there, 2 mil, 4 mil, 1 mil and 3 mil, I think that is. Just loads of different pellets from all sorts of different high oil, low oil, flavoured, not flavoured.
A lot of people put crumb in first, don't
they?
they?
Yeah, I'll be honest, the reason I don't is because I'm lazy. I can't bother to crumb anything up.
Yeah, no, fair dues,
I haven't got anything to crumb up, so I just use that. Then you go in like that with your lead, right, in between your fingers. Pull this out of the way, keep that there like that outside the bag, back over the bucket. Put a bit more in, and when I'm doing this, I'm trying to put it just, that'd be a good, just over the top of the lead, right? You can see that there, look, like the top of the lead is literally just below that lot. When I've got that, I'll then get my rig, get the bait first.
Opposite side, obviously. Opposite
side to where my lead's gone in, because my lead's still round the back. There, like that, at the front, yeah?
That's where I'm struggling. I'm struggling to get it proper.
Yeah, just push it in there. Yeah, just push it in there, right? A little bit more pellet on top, just to cover that a little bit. And then this is the fiddly bit. So, 2 fingers. Give it a good squeeze around there.
I'm all good with tying them up, like, but I've always put my bait in, you know what I mean? A little bit of pellet, then the bait, then a bit more pellet, and then the lead. So I know that the lead and the bait's away from each other. But when you showed me this morning, it's literally, no matter where it lands, it's always going to fall on that lead.
It's like it's magnetic. So I like to put the bag in between my legs for this bit, just tie in the actual PVA tape on there around the top. And the reason I do that is because I'm all fingers and thumbs, it's really fiddly. So I just pin it in between my thighs and then get the ties out of the way, the granny knots, and then give this a trim up.
Lucky bag.
Little trim up there. And then we'll cut this in here without cutting the leader. Pull that over, and then I pinch at the knot.
Yeah, trim it up.
Little trim. Again, I'm not teaching you anything you haven't seen on YouTube. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking for the lead. Right, just pushing it side by side.
See, that's what I...
Just searching for the lead. Yeah, I found it. And then I give it a squeeze around the side, and it pushes it back. Yeah, you have to be careful. Look, because you can see I've got to cut the little rips there, but that'll be all right. Right, so now I've found the lead. Lead's at the back. Give it a little squeeze, little roll, push the corners in, lick and stick. I always like to blow it to try and dry it quicker.
Yeah, fair dues.
My thing.
Fair dues. Each their own, isn't it, mate?
Right. There you go.
Yeah,
and then you're trying to get the shape so that no matter where it goes, right, that it's going to roll. So if I just chuck it on there, look, straight over on the ledge, yeah? Like that, over on the lead, like this, over on the lead.
Literally like magnetic.
Drops in the water, over on the lead. The bait is at the top every single time, and it's just getting that shape right. And don't be scared to get like your bucket lid. This is how I'd usually do it if I was at the lake, because if the grass was wet or something, I'd just put it on my lid. See, now that's not working, so, right, what have I got to do? I've got to try and shape that up a bit. There you go, done, yeah? And then put it back on there again, give it another test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Test it a few times, make sure it's working. That's the shape.
That's what I wasn't doing. I wasn't manipulating the lead.
Yep.
I was just
that's in the back.
Bit more in there.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you've got
just got
it's in the middle of the bag.
You see, you can just push it with your finger like that, right? And it's there. I mean, I put a little tear in that, right? That's really bad. I caught it with my nail, but all I've done is I've literally just been pushing and then squeezing, and then pushing and then squeezing.
That's what I wasn't doing. I wasn't manipulating the lead about to get. I was just thinking, why ain't it sitting?
And that's what you're left with. And every time, it's going in the water. You're feeling the lead down. It might hit something. And the good thing about these as well is if it hits, like you've got a little bit. Let's say you go from like 6 foot up to 5 foot, and you catch it long, and it hits it. It rolls down, and then sits at the bottom of the shelf like that.
It's still going to go. So obviously the lead, the weight's there, isn't it?
Exactly. So there's one for later.
To be fair, when Rob Burgess showed us those little adjustments, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So credit to him. Really.
So yeah, so that was
game changer, wasn't it?
2000 and
I went up Conningbrook and literally first trip up there, I ended up with like 9 tench and then 3 carp.
Was it 2019? Early 2019. So to give you an insight, early 2019, I owned a tackle shop. Rob Burgess came down to do some quarter coaching.
Social as well.
No, this was before the social. So he came down to do some coaching because my shop was on a complex, and we was having a crack out in the back of the kitchen, and he asked me where I was fishing. I was fishing a syndicate in Canterbury, and he said, how many have you had? And I told him, and he was like, show me your rigs. So I got the rig bag out of the van and showed him, and he laughed and said, mate, you should have caught a lot more fish because them rigs are terrible.
Well, then show me.
I was like, hang on a minute, I've caught carp like everywhere, and good ones as well, like big ones.
He's so prolific with the bags, though, isn't
and then he went to me, just look, he said, your rig is great, by the way, but let me show you something. He said, don't tell anyone this, right? So 2019 spring,
was in the shop, wasn't I?
yeah, there's no one doing this PVA bag rig that you see now so much on social media. Rob didn't want anyone knowing about it. So credit to Rob for showing me, and obviously Bill.
Yeah, big ups, Rob.
Yeah, and
Chris
we used
as
it.
well, didn't he? Chris,
yeah, and Chris.
We literally all 3 of us went to our lakes and started.
Yeah, I was a little bit.
So as soon as you swapped to how he showed you, bang, catching.
Well, I was catching anyway.
Yeah.
But when Rob
up.
showed me, I went, well, hang on a minute. That's basically because I'm an all-species angler.
Yeah, of course.
That's a method feeder in a bag.
Yeah.
And I said, why don't you just use a method feeder? And he said, well, yeah, that's great, but can you put a method feeder 120 yards? No, I can't.
That's the thing. You can whack a bag, can't you?
Yeah. So yeah, credit to him.
Yeah,
Chris
definitely.
changed, and Chris absolutely clumped Tom for that year. Yeah. I changed. I was only doing 1 night a week if I was lucky, and when I say at night, I mean like 8 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I was getting one
you
trip.
was at Conningbrook, Tough Lake.
So I've been baiting up a spot. Like, I'm only fishing 2 at the minute.
Yep.
So I've been baiting up a spot just off the margin to the left of me. So if I can manage to tie a bag like that and end up having one,
Yep.
lovely times, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
literally just
I wasn't
like-
manipulating the lead.
And that's
Do you
the
know
most
what I mean?
important
I was
part.
just thinking, why is it not sitting to one side? I'm putting it on the one side, but the pellets are getting round the back
Everything
of it.
inside of that bag, right, is important, obviously. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
your
yeah.
rig and everything. But to make the bag work first before your rig can work properly, that's the most
It's
important
got to
part.
be sitting properly.
It's got to sit like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it just
But
opens
like you
out.
said, it's a method
one
for you doing
mouthful
the
done.
bag, isn't it, really?
Well, that one I had on the left-hand rod, I was about 2 rod lengths short of the clip.
Yeah.
But where I'd put the marker out yesterday, I knew it was just that nice caddy floss.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I got that bag on, I was like,
You haven't got to worry about it, have
Yeah.
you?
and it rattled off, whereas I could have messed around with it,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
No.
So there's proof in the pudding here, right? So if you're going to come to Lake Ruby or wherever you go, these work everywhere, by the way. Billy, who's behind the camera, has had 2 fish this morning,
Yeah.
one at 7 o'clock and one at 10 to 8, both on solid bags, exactly the same as me because we both fish with the test bait wafters.
And sorry, do you mind me saying the first one you cast didn't really hit the clip, but it's still, you know what I mean? It's still presented
It was
itself.
2 rod lengths short.
Yes.
Yeah, and it gives you...
Thing is, once you've landed the bag, it can land
It
in
goes
a bit of
broop,
weed, and it's going
Right
to
itself.
open up into a little parcel,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and one of the things I will say is if you're fishing in weed, or in that situation, it's one less cast that you've got to have in your swim.
Well, that's it.
'Cause you know, I'm not being funny, when I baited up with the spom, I spread it out a little bit. I only put 6 out, so my little piles of bags
Are the same as the
piles
spoms.
of
Yeah, got ya.
That's
Yeah.
how I try and
When I
create
spot,
baits.
I tend not to do it all to the same exact spot. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hold the
I know,
rod back
I'm
a
still,
little bit,
I'm
let it
still
go
in the
forward a
clip
little
a
bit.
bit. I'm still in
Little
the
bit
clip,
right, little
but I
bit
do a
left.
little bit. Yeah, exactly that.
Try and keep
And
them moving
that all
a bit.
comes down to how you're fishing. Like, for example, what Billy just said there, the spoms we both use at the moment are the little midi ones, so not the baby
Nah,
one, the middle one.
Yeah, I know what
right?
you mean.
Well, like I said, that is a PVA bag,
a
or
mouthful,
maybe
isn't
2
it?
PVA bags, and it's scattered down. It's gone a little bit wider, but they're getting used to picking that different bit of bait up. It's like when you fish with boilie, like maybe August, September time. I like to use a lot of boilie.
Yeah.
A throwing stick, because they're going around, they're picking up single baits. They're just picking up single boilies here and there,
Yeah,
and they're coming
definitely.
across your one.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason that
100%.
bag works so well, you've got the carp moving, they come in, they snuffle it up,
Job done.
and move straight away, and they've got that
But,
lead.
because
They just,
it's-
I fish them drop off, by the
Yeah.
way, the leads. So
Yeah,
the
so
leads-
literally it's a mouthful, so that hook bait's there.
Yeah.
But when, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When
Exactly
they
that.
start
To
going
be
in.
honest, I'd usually use them drop off as well, Bill, but I'm
Being
not.
lazy, isn't you?
Yeah, yeah, I'm being
that all
lazy.
it is?
Yeah,
Is it?
It's because I tied these up for another lake where you don't don't lose the lead.
To be fair, you weren't even going to fish yesterday.
No, I wasn't. So yeah,
There you go. So just I do fish and drop off, and I was fishing down that snag, and the fish was on the top
Yeah,
long.
immediately.
So you can get them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It just did. I definitely think dropping the leads massively.
yeah,
makes a
huge.
difference.
If you're in a weedy water,
They come straight.
dropping a
the
lead,
Well, it's
they
less
do the
resistance,
opposite.
isn't it? Straight away. You're not trailing that what whatever ounce.
Yeah,
lead
well,
you've got.
to be fair, I'm only using 2 ounce
So
leads
it doesn't matter really. It's another 2 ounce, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And I've caught fish up at Norton Disney using these rigs. That's where they were made for.
Yeah,
up
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to say
Good
like that.
good
And it
couple of
works.
socials up at Norton Disney.
Yeah.
To be fair, nice complex, lovely times. Yeah, lovely
That's
people.
it. Happy days. Right, there you go then. So that's the PVA bag rig. Like I said at the very beginning, something that you've probably seen a million times on social media and all of that stuff. But there it is. That's how I do it. And lovely times.
Lovely times
Kia
indeed,
man.
mate. Kia man. Kia man.